walnut tree in my front yard failed to bud one spring, I felt a cold slab, a bit of wandering sea ice stuck in my chest. It melted quickly. I denied the death. It's late. Walnuts are always late. But weeks passed as the branches remained stubbornly bare, and then months, and then months. The leaves never returned. I cried when they came to cut the tree down. I tied wildflowers around its trunk and tried in vain to explain to the squirrels and the crows why the machines were there to chew down their home, their sky bridge, their playground. The change was so abrupt, it became a pin and the ribbon of time we slid along. There was the time of the tree, and then the time of its absence. Everything moved around its negative space, sketched out against the sky with skeletal branches only we could see. I wondered whether the crows tumbled at night, forgetting they could no longer land in its arms. I oriented myself to the loss, steered from its point. Climate was not responsible for the death of this tree, not directly. It was a blight, one that took dozens of walnuts in the neighborhood, a small plague in their woody community. But it reminded me of the clarity of loss, the gap between tree time and human time. No great branches will tower over my yard again as long as I live. This grief is a certainty. As the leaves blushed and crisped, tumbled and rustled, I stood in the wind and listened. It was a dry, whispering fall. The sun pierced the afternoons at odd angles, gold and lances of light and blue of the rounded leaden gray of damp. The dry air crackled with the burnt mulch of dead leaves, with twigs underfoot, with the warmth of sunshine. Watch the leaves swirl and mound in brittle drifts. This is so unusual. To hear them dance against sidewalks and rattle away from their trees. What a relief, I thought, to relax into winter instead of setting my jaw and shoulders against cold rain. This is so wrong. I looked to the crows for corroboration, but they had none. They argued and played as usual. The squirrels skittered and hid their tiny claws rasping against the bark as they spiraled up the tree of dark fir that stands guard over our block, the tallest living thing for a mile. Bugs hummed. A jay made a belligerent hop into the ring where the sparrows and juncos were pecking seeds from the ground. All seemed well in the tiny nature I call home. My skin crawled. The breeze was warm against me. It curled around me like a cat, draping its languorous tail as it passed, tracing my outline and shadow. What if the apocalypse were seductive? I felt tilted, uneasy. Something is wrong. Yes, whispered the azalea that had reawakened to bloom again in unseasonal warmth. Yes, said the storm cloud far across the mountains to the east. Yes, sang the floodwaters far to the west, the fires to the south, the fish in the deeps. Something is wrong.
My
about greenhouse gases and tossed papers off tables, sweating and shaking, until he finally heaved a desk across the room, screaming, "And nobody really cares!" We all leaned back against our chairs as one, stiff and shocked. He was scared, that much was clear, and so we were too, but I didn't know why. Not yet. It wasn't until many years later, until the term global warming had become commonplace, so common that scientists had to change the name, hoping it wouldn't be oversimplified and that straw man attacked when the snows and the storms and the hurricanes came. Until we started to learn new terms like albedo effect, feedback loop, ocean acidification, and tipping point. Until we learned numbers. 350 parts per million, 3 degrees Celsius by 2100, by 2085, by 2050. Then I became afraid. Horror, like grief, can come in stages, feeling more and less real over time. There are moments when the enormity of what we've done inspires in me a stifled awe, my inability to grasp the totality of paralysis of imagination, an error screen on a calculator. Devastation, migration, extraction, extinction, it's simply too much. Other times the abstractions give way to small effects. Almonds or vanilla become too expensive to buy. Friends share videos of surreal visions, insect manifestations, confused marine mammals. Entire beaches covered in flaccid dead worms the shape of dicks, as if nature is emptying out the bag of tricks, trying to get our attention by any means necessary. My father considers a ribeye sandwich at an Irish pub, but instead orders the fish and chips. He offers a piece of the fried cod to my child, knowing the Alaskan fishery has just closed for this species, and this may be the last time it passes either of their lips. I prepare mussels with similar blank nostalgia. My child will live in a world without shellfish. I want them to taste the sea on their tongue while they can. The part of the world in which we live is enjoying a new form of riches, climate privilege. We possess the freedom not to care. We still have access to food. Things will grow with abundance and aren't destroyed by insects or fungi or worms. Our weather, if anything, becomes more pleasant. And the forest fires are still mostly to the south. What if the end times have already arrived? Would we know it? My brain assimilates the news on a daily basis in a clatter of panic. We're fucked, we're so fucked. For every stone I place to protect my heart, a new piece of data knocks it down. Confirmation bias is now a collapsed star. Every storm and drought around the world drawn into its gravity well. All natural disasters, bad choices, misfortunes feel as if they've tumbled from the same orbit. I scan the headlines and with every untimely sunburst feel myself retreating, becoming the past. As I lose my grip on a future I've tried to help build. My knuckles recall knocking on countless doors, leaflets in hand. My ears sift voices in meeting after meeting as circles of bright-eyed dreamers struggled over small differences while sharing the same fevered convictions, always asking the same question: how do we make change? Beneath the noise of my restless thoughts is something stranger and deeper, something uncanny, a sense I imagine of something outside the human world, a last link, astral realm, a golden thread that connects all other living things that vibrates. Something's wrong. The old man who's lived down the block since he was a small boy, he recalls when this parking lot was peach trees. He tells me how the river used to freeze over every winter. These stories are from before my time here. I think of who has been here the longest and what they would see. I ask the crows if their short lives make them more resilient, less concerned that the evening is dry and golden instead of sodden and the color of rotten wood. Do they carry old tunes of autumn in their songs and flights? Are they uneasy too? Perhaps the end is now, as part of a season of beginnings, beginnings that are sung in the language of loss. If I thought the apocalypse would arrive cast by the hand of a god, I missed it when it came. There was probably lightning. There still is around the world 100 times a second. There are no great fingers pointing judgment, reaching from the clouds to deliver a bolt to end us all. There is only us, only the deep and sickly sensation of seeing things continue to slide and knowing there has been an endless flow of moments in which we could have chosen differently but didn't. But we could now. And now. And now. Bound together only by those powers we create and uphold, held only through the mechanisms we make. This is the great beauty of power. What a struggle to know where to put my energy so that it isn't lost in the entropy of the tangle we're in together. We're moving, all of us at odds and in flow. This is the awful truth of power. The fear I feel spurs me, steals me, freezes me in place. The shame will turn me to stone if I let it. The key is simply to keep going. And with every motion, pull the thread. Pull us all closer together, closer to that golden knowing. What's the use? The old man mused. The sun will burn out one day. All for naught in the end. And yet, we live each day, and then the next, and that is all the reason we need. Like worrying beads around my wrist, I count images of courage, tiny kayaks swarming before the crushing hulks of icebreakers, people gathering warm coats for water defenders they'll never meet, students holding hands, holding signs, holding hope for the rest of us, lest we forget to hope too. I mutter the mantras of transformation we use to hold one another up. The people united will never be defeated. Human problems have human solutions. The way out is different from the way in. Like a stone, I lie quietly in the grass and watch the crows circle the neighboring tree where it now nests. It carves the fear from my limbs as it turns. The golden thread that binds us lifts me gently upward. And I remember what I have to do.